late, but I could not pass this up. And I also wanted to share with you really quick what I think I want to share this with you because I always say gardeners are amazing people. Not just because I'm a gardener, but we truly are amazing people. So I'm going to make a long story short, but you saw the title. Like I'm not going to bed. I don't care if I do have to get up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm not going to bed until I finish potting up these plants. I'm just going to have to take one for the team tomorrow. So let me just make a long story short, y'all, because I know that when Chris opens up this garage in the morning, he's going to have a fit because I have lined up these plants and he already got on me about this patio Saturday and like all of the plants. Like he literally asked me how many more plants do I think I'm gonna bring here. Well, guess what? I just brought some more plants today. So to make a long story short, if you're in the Atlanta area, when I start seeds or when I come across a lot of plants, sometimes I will put them up for sale. And so I had some plants for sale, and someone contacted me and we met up. But to make a long story short, she also had a farm, and she invited me to her farm, and I'm just like, hey, okay, it's not quite far. Let me see. Such a beautiful, 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 beautiful place, y'all. I didn't feel right filming because I didn't ask for her permission. But she sells predominantly palm trees, and I'm talking about tall, tall palm trees. And um, she just has some beautiful things on the property: blueberries, muscadines, pomegranates, just beautiful items on there. But while we was talking and I was doing a walkthrough, she was showing me. So this is why I ended up going to her farm and her home, is because we were talking about passion fruit. And if y'all know anything about passion fruit, I'll let you look it up. It is medicinal in assisting with things. And I was just telling her that I have one passion fruit, and what I have been doing is every time it flowers, I take the flower off and I put it in a tincture. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I have so many flowers right now." And I was like, "You have got to be kidding me. I will buy them from you. But she was so sweet. And we ended up doing like a trade off, a barter. I traded one of my soursop plants and some mint plants. And this is what I want to share with you. This is what she gave me. And she wanted to keep giving me so much more. And I was like, no, I just felt bad. So she gave me a whole pot of comfrey. Let me walk back here real quick and we'll go over what she gave me because these mosquitoes are horrible right now. That's one thing I'm gonna have to do. I'm like, we gotta do something about these mosquitoes. Like when I say the level of disrespect. So she gave me her whole pot of comfrey because I wanted to make like comfrey tea, put it on my plants. So she gave me the comfrey. Also, I spotted. So if y'all haven't heard of this, look it up. I spotted on her property the leaf of life. I said, I know that's not the leaf of life. Me and another guy that we talk a lot, um, we exchange numbers, and he's from, I want to say, St. Lucia. That's where he's from. We were talking about the leaf of life. And he says he has some, but it's small. But I spotted them. So she gave me a cutting of the leaf of life plant. She calls it flat leaf thyme. I call it Cuban oregano. I guess it just depends on where you're from, who you know, what you call it. But this is the Cuban oregano. So I got 3 cuttings of those from her. I got the American Beauty Berry, and then this little small one is the sassafras, just a little one. So what I've done right here is I have used a little bit of rooting hormone and just put it in the potting soil. It's gonna be super hot this week here in Georgia, zone 8A. So I don't want to just like put it out in the hot sun. So I'm just going to leave them here for now, but I'm going to put them in the cover area only because it's getting late. Normally when I propagate, I'll have like my clear, it's kind of like a Tupperware or plastic container. I'll have holes in the bottom. I'll put like, perlite and all of that stuff in there. And I will put it on top for moisture. But I'm going to leave it right here right now. I know, y'all, I know Chris going to act a fool when he open up this garage in the morning because he's going to think I've migrated the plants in here. But let me show you what else she gave me. Like, she gave me this full bucket over here of just plants. And I'm up under the garage because these main plants, I was like, I don't care what time it is. I'm not going to bed until I get these potted. Tomorrow, I'll figure out what I'm going to do, but I didn't want to leave them in the bucket because the Cuban oregano, it doesn't like too much wetness. So although I potted it up, I put it in rooting hormone, I didn't water it a whole lot. But in this bucket as well, she gave me some more passion fruit because I told her I only had one. And I'm about to get ready to go and tincture the passion fruit flowers that I picked from her farm. So I got the passion fruit flowers, but then she gave me some cuttings of the passion fruit, but she also gave me some cuttings of the pawpaw tree. She had some on her property, and they're not, fruiting yet, but she was just explaining the flavor of them. So she gave me some pawpaw, passion fruit cuttings, Cuban oregano, some people call them flat leaf thyme, the leaf of life plant, um, American beautyberry, and sassafras. I'm gonna watch this sassafras over here real closely because it's really small, but when you pinch it off and smell it, y'all, that's where the original root beer came from. So when you smell it, it smells just like root beer. And they also use it for medicinal purposes as well. But I feel like I'm going to be okay until I get off tomorrow. I have a graduation to go to. So all of the things that I had on my list to do today, I did not get done. Not at all. But this to me is more important. That's why I'm like, I'll take one for the team. I am going to at least plant this up. I definitely wanted to plant this leaf of life up because I had been looking for it. And the guy that I was telling you about, he has one, but he said it's really small. And so tomorrow when I get here, because this is a pretty nice cutting, if you can see, I'm going to take some of the leaves and kind of like water propagate them as well. Because, a lot of people have shared with me, they're very easy to propagate. And they are really big, like in the Caribbean areas. And what the lady shared with me is she has a friend from Jamaica that has lots of it. So she had a lot of cuttings. I'm going to read up on it. I always say that plants are medicine. Plants are medicinal. There's some plants that I'm used to working with, I know about, but this is one I heard about, but I still want to read up on it because remember, plants are medicine. And I always tell people before you start taking herbs, if you're on any type of medication, like you really have to read up on these things and make sure that you understand. Because they can affect, different medicines, stuff like that. But this is one I'm excited about. When I stayed in the Savannah area, the American beautyberry was a really popular plant that you saw all around Savannah, St. Simon's Island, Jekyll Island, and it actually has some medicinal properties, but I see a lot of people making beautyberry jelly out of it. So we got us a cutting of that. And then the Cuban oregano. I had grew this in Savannah. This is one of the plants that we left, but we are going to root these. So y'all make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I feel okay with leaving these in the bucket. So tomorrow when I get here, because the roots on here are really nice, especially for the sassafras. I think she had it soaking in like some type of fertilizer. So I'm just going to go ahead and pot these up. This is the pawpaw. right here. This is not the sassafras. So I got about one, two, three, four, five, six, about 8 pawpaw plants, but the ones on her property were so beautiful. I picked so many passion flower, which I'm gonna go in and tincture now. But I told her, don't give me all your passion flower, because they were starting to make fruit on her property. Now you got the purple possum. So the one that I bought was the purple possum. It turns purple. But these, she said, they don't turn purple. They stay green, and like they'll crinkle up, or you could smell them when they're ripe. So we're gonna go ahead and get those potted up. Now, this is what her and I talked about, or me and her. I never was good in English. Don't worry about it. Um, what we talked about. If y'all know anything about passion fruit, you know it is very vining. It's very vining. And the one I got now is still a little bit small. And I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do it. I don't think that it'll do good on the chain link fence, only because every time I've seen, some people call them maypops, every time I've seen them growing, like it's up a pergola, it's up a trellis, it's up something like that. As a matter of fact, in December, when we were in the Dominican Republic, they had them on trellises growing up high, and then the maypops, or the passion fruit, was just like dangling down. So I'm going to pot them up right now just to get them started and get them growing really well. She said this particular variety is one of the most coldest hardy variety that you could have. Like, I think they grow it all the way up to Connecticut. I think that's what she told me. Y'all, I was think she said this one is very cold hardy, but it does take over. Like, she had palm trees. She has a palm farm, and with the palm trees, like, these were just growing up them like crazy, which is how I was able to get a lot of the passion fruit flowers that were growing. So I'm going to have to figure out what type of trellising system. At first, I started, I was going to plant one by the pergola on the back of our patio, but that ain't going to work with Chris. I'm going to tell y'all right now, okay? Chris knows I love flowers. He supports me in my gardening, but he also lets me know when I go too far. He does. And I know that if I trellis this passion fruit on this patio, he gonna tell me that ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. So either I'm going to do cattle panels, maybe get a pergola built, but we're gonna do something, because I think passion flower might be second or third on my list as far as some of my favorite herbs and edible flowers to grow, just because of what they can do and the medicinal purposes. So the one passion flower that I have been growing in the back, every time I've only let 2 of them like go, and they're starting to produce fruit. Those are the purple possum. But every time the passion fruit flowers, I get it off and I put it in a tea, because it assists with you going to sleep. It assists, it's like a nervine. So it assists like with, when you have like a little muscle pain, little back pain, little pains, and I was just saying this morning when I got up, I knew that I was going to pay for it, because I was out in the garden Saturday, and y'all, I was bending over at 90-degree angle. I was doing all kind of stuff that I knew. I said, you're going to pay for this, because you're not positioning yourself right when you work in the garden. And you will pay for it. You will. And I paid for it. I'm a little bit tense, but I'm about to take some of this passion flower that I got from her, and I'm going to make me a tea out of it, but I'm going to tincture the rest. So I'm going to try to use my app to see exactly what variety this is. I still think it might say passion flower. I don't know if it'll give me the specific variety. She didn't quite know the specific variety, but she did say they do not turn purple when they're ripe. They kind of wrinkle up a little bit, and you can smell them when they're ripe. She also gave me, oh, what did she call them? Calamandan seeds. It's like a citrus plant. It's small. The rind is edible, but the actual fruit is a little bit sour. So I'm gonna plant those. But y'all, I'm so excited because I was like, I don't care. I don't care if I gotta drive in tomorrow. When it comes to gardening, when it comes to me and plants, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. As if my mom would say, she's like, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. I am gonna leave these. I think they'll be okay till tomorrow. But I knew with the Cuban oregano, with the leaf of life, with the beautyberry and the sassafras, I was like, I'm not going to bed until they pot it up. Now I might give y'all a part two because I know when Chris walk out here early in the morning, it's gonna be some words. It's gonna be a phone call when I get to work. It's gonna be a phone call about why I got these plants in the garage, but I just want to leave them here for now. They're potted up, but I don't want to put them out to where my other plants are just because we're going to get up in the upper 80s this week. Supposed to be rain this weekend, but when you propagate things like this, you got to be careful. Like, don't just slam them out in direct sun like that. You're only hurting them. You're not helping them. I may put these like on the front porch. You know how they get morning sun. So I may put them on the front porch and then just kind of watch them. But I was supposed to be cleaning off the front porch. But nevertheless, I'm gonna find a slightly shaded area for them. And then, just like I always tell y'all about hardening off, even when you start seeds, slowly but surely, I'll start hardening them off to where, like, I'm gonna put them. Right now, I have no idea where I'm gonna put them in the garden. I'm just gonna let them grow in the pots. But where I'm gonna put them in the pots, I'm just gonna harden them off slowly but surely. Hey, Shirley, how are you? I might be tired in the morning when I get to work, but I'm telling you, I am not. I would not go to bed until I get done potting these up. And so I'm just going to leave this bucket here that she gave me for tomorrow. I had to go by Tractor Supply and get some lime. Y'all know that we got our soil results back like in the fall time. But one thing I always say is I'm trying to focus on building my soil, and lime was one of the nutrients that I needed to put in there. And so I went and got some lime because I'm gonna do some I gotta plant my okra, and I'm gonna plant that in ground. So I just want to feed the soil with a little bit of lime and some of my slow release fertilizer. But I'm gonna keep y'all posted. Let me go ahead. I have not even eaten since about 12 something. Something about plants make me excited. I wouldn't even think about no food, but and I know it's late, so whatever I eat is going it's going to have to be light. Lord, don't let it get to me. It's going to have to be light, but I'm going to have to do a little bit of something. But I just wanted to share that with you. What we did in each of these right here is I used some rooting hormone, and then I just put it in here. So I'm going to keep you posted because sometimes when I propagate, when I was like propagating the lavender, I propagated 12 and only two took. And sometimes that happened when you propagate. But these were big, and so I couldn't create that like humidity, that moisture, but I did put the rooting hormone on here. And I'm just gonna keep it like in a shaded area for a little bit, and then I'm gonna slowly move it to where I want it to be. But I know for a fact that these are gonna propagate just fine. The only one I'm gonna pay really, really, really close attention to is this sassafras right here, because we just took part of the top and it didn't have any roots. Like these, they had a little bit of roots that were coming on, but the sassafras didn't have any. So we're just gonna watch that, and then I'll keep y'all posted tomorrow. I don't care what time I get home. I know I gotta fly out this week. I don't care. I guarantee you this passion fruit and these pawpaw plants will be planted. These mosquitoes have really been very bad out here, but if I gotta go and put my headlamp on, so that y'all, I'm serious about gardening. Like sometimes you gotta take one for the team, and if it means I gotta be out here at 11, 12 o'clock at night potting up stuff, then that's just what I'm gonna have to do because the reward is gonna be greater. The reward is gonna be amazing. Like we're gonna have pawpaws, and we're gonna have lots of passion fruit, and lots of passion flowers. So y'all, let me go in here. Let me get these flowers. I'm going to tincture those. And when I say tincture it, basically I put it in a mason jar. I do what's called the old school tincturing with a lot of herbs. I don't measure them out. I take my tincture, I'll take some Everclear or whatever type of alcohol. Sometimes you can do glycerin. We're doing Everclear, and I'm just going to cover it so that all of the plants are submerged in there. We're going to let it sit for about 4 to 6 weeks, and then we're going to strain off that passion flower, and we'll have a passion flower tincture, which is going to be so helpful for me. Like last night when I could not go to sleep, that'll be helpful. You can take a little dropper full of that, and you can go head off to sleep, and you can kind of relax your muscles as well. I always tell y'all to look it up. Plants are medicine, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. Always consult with your doctor before you start consuming different herbs, especially if you're on medication, because sometimes they can interact with each other. But okay, y'all, let me go ahead. Let me get up off this ground, and I'll let y'all know what Chris said tomorrow, because I know when he walk out here, honey, he gonna have something to say, because I done went overboard with the plants real quick. I told him I was gonna put a banana tree right here. He said, do not put a banana tree right here. And I didn't. I did not put a banana tree right here, y'all. But instead, I put some elephant ears and some dichondria right here. So if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned, because I want y'all to see how big it gets. Let me show y'all real quick, and then I gotta go for real, because y'all know in the nighttime, when solar lights and stuff start coming on, I leave it to the animals. I don't be out here at night like this. But if I gotta do whatever I gotta do. Okay, really quick, come to the porch. This is our front porch, y'all. But the same elephant ears, and we gotta clean this off too, are right here. Do y'all see how nice that looks? So this is what that is gonna look like when they start growing. This is the Aloha elephant ears that when I did the Costco haul this season, I planted this one first. I couldn't figure out where I wanted the other one, so I planted it a little bit later. It came out of dormancy, and that's why it's so small, because I planted that later. But do y'all see like all of the leaves that are coming here? And then it's more of a darker color, but that's going to be there. So in actuality, y'all, no, I did not plant the banana plant right there. I just planted elephant ear. So I got like a nasty look. Got a nasty look. But the front porch smells good. So if you haven't grown gardenia, make sure you grow that. It smells really good out here. And then we just planted some begonias. I was supposed to give y'all a full front porch tour right here. What I will tell you is that some of my plants I'm going to have to pull, because spider mites are taking over, and I'm just like I'm not about to fight with plants this season. But the begonias are doing good. I got to plant some more, but this is where I just showed you. We'll walk around again, because I got to let the garage down. The Aloha elephant ears. So they're going to get nice and big. And this is just, that's what they're going to look like. Hello. Hello. How are you? I was just talking about you. I don't have my reading glasses on. I don't. I was just talking about you and how I visited your beautiful place. And since you're on here, I planted up, potted up. I know Chris gonna have. I know in the morning when he comes out here to this garage, he is not. He gonna keep walking, because we gotta go to work, y'all. He just gonna keep walking. That's really what's gonna happen. But this is gonna get like this. But really quick, I want you to see I'm potting up, and I'm not going to bed. I'm not going to bed.